Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So today's going to be a bit of a discussion video about how gameplay standards have just fallen off, and also talking a bit about play justice because I never put out a highlights video for that, and I never will. This is some of the most mad I've ever gotten in this game. I'd say I try to keep a positive attitude, not get too mad on stream. Like obviously, I don't like full on rage, but like I get kind of mad, I like groan and stuff when I get really frustrated by levels, but I don't like full on start ranting most of the time, unless the level is really bad. And I, for the first time ever, ended a stream early because of Play Justice. Like, there's never been a time where a level has been so bad that I just end stream. A lot of the time I use that terrible levelness to motivate myself to try to beat it. But I just did not want to play the level anymore. Most of the time it was just me ranting and like not really being able to get anywhere because I was just so angry. Today I wanted to talk about what can like contribute to making a level making you angry at playing a level, because there's obviously something, like a lot of levels are bangers, like really fun and stuff, but the thing is there's Blade of Justice among many other levels such as X Adventure, Acropolis, Crazy 3, Sadism. I know that some of those are very controversial takes if they're that bad, but I don't know. I hate them. It's my opinion. This is my video, so don't comment opinions. I don't know, dude. Blade of Justice analysis. This level, I love the second half. Like, I know I hated the UFO at first, but it got really consistent. Like, I only died to it twice, I'm pretty sure. I mean, they were very free clicks that I died to, but still, like, it really was not much. Like, I've heard people call it luck-based, but I found it to get very consistent. It's just like a click pattern part that you need to get muscle memory with over time. Yeah, other than that, second half is absolutely fantastic. There's a few choke points like 87 and 94, which I died to, but it's really not that bad. Like, very good second half. But the thing is, the first half is complete pain and agony. The first robot is like way overhated. I don't know why people find it hard. Like, it's literally just like one timing at 5%. That's about it. The rest is like good for the difficulty range. But the next ship is like structuring. Structuring is a huge point I want to bring up. If you structure your levels poorly, for example, with slopes like the Blade of Justice ship, and I'm not saying slopes are bad, by the way. Like, I have not always been the biggest fan of slopes, but like, you can use slopes to make really fun gameplay. And Wave is my favorite game mode, and that's just all about slopes. I think that without slopes, Wave can be really unfun. Like a level I brought up earlier, Sadism. That ship is just not very good. Like, if you're going to use slopes in your ship parts, which I highly warn against, I'm warning you, if you're going to use slopes in your ship parts, unless it's for a transition or something, please make it so you can't land on the edge and just like bonk everywhere, because that's just really frustrating and pointless. No, I really don't like that ship part. The next wave, it's a good part, it's just really tiring for the hand, and like, I don't know, if you're going to have a very like timing intensive second half with like, it's a really good second half. It's just a lot of very precise timing, such as 58, which I somehow never died to. Absolutely, like, really late click. It's not, I don't really struggle with it because I don't really like struggle with really early or really late timings. Really early timings are free because they're buffers, but really late timings, like, I don't really struggle with those. Just like the middle of the road ones, like a very large range in the middle. Yeah, stuff like that. Like, after going through just pretty much breaks wave part. Like, a lot of levels, there's like wave, like even if there's like a semi-long wave part, it has like a couple like kind of hold things, like 9 circles, for example. Even though I'm not the biggest 9 circles fan, like if you go out a spam part, it's like a lot of like these big up and downs, which is like, well, that level is still a bit tiring for the hand. It's not anything terrible, Blade of Justice, on the other hand, it's just like non-stop, and then you get thrown into a bunch of straight fly in the next ship. I really hated that ship at first, but I found it to get quite consistent. Just the transitions are really frustrating in the beginning with like the block corrections. The momentum of the ship game mode in general is terrible, but the block corrections just make it even worse. I really don't like ship. Like, even, I'm not just saying that because it's my worst game mode. I think it's seriously a terribly coded game mode, and it's really hard to get consistent at, which is why it's my worst game mode. There's just like a slight choke point with 28. The next UFO is free. The wave, I'd say, like, those dual parts, they're good. They're just really inconsistent. That's like the last really like kind of issue with the first half. It's just like very easy to choke, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's like 28 is the last like abysmal click in the level until the second half. There's a couple things in the second half that kind of suck. The next cube I died to, I think, a total of 14 times, which, if that is not a world record, like, I feel genuinely sorry for whoever got there more than me. Like it's okay. I don't know. It's just really frustrating either because it's such an easy part. And yeah, then you get into the duel, which is my favorite part of the level. If you were there for the streams, I've already explained it. Absolutely immaculate duel part. It's so good, like so fun. The next wave is really funny because all of it is like medium demon gaps, maybe hard demon, and then the last 2 clicks are like impossible. I never died to them, but still. You're into the space part, which I already explained, and then last bit of the level. Swing Copter's a bit too hard, but like it's so fun. I love Swing Copter. I think Swing Copter might end up being my new favorite game mode once it officially becomes one. Like even just the Swing Copter, including the Swing Copter. I love 74 to 100. Like really good job on that. And I'm pretty sure like 81 to 100 or something was all made by the same person. I don't know if it's Laser Blitz or Manix. I think it might be Laser Blitz. Laser Blitz is a really good creator. I find him a lot better of a creator than Manix. So yeah, I don't know. Blade of Justice, that's like the first half of this video. And I'm going to use that as an example to explain why we need people to playtest gameplay. And I get that Blade of Justice is old and stuff, but it's still an issue today. Like, there are some levels that just have massive issues, like Ruthless, for example. Even after getting the update, I heard that, according to Cookie's Mind, it's even worse now. But, I mean, I don't know. I've heard from, like, everyone else that it's gotten better, but I don't really know. Like, obviously, you know, fun gameplay is subjective, but there are, like, some very obvious things, like balancing and bugs that just, like, if your level has, like, bad balancing and, you know, like, bugs and stuff, like, that should just be an automatic no rate. Like, I get that people think that Deco is way more important than gameplay now, but that's just complete BS. Like, honestly, if you, like, have you even played this game if you think that? I know I'm getting kind of aggressive, but it's just, like, my brain cannot understand if you put decoration above gameplay. It's like, yeah, the level looks cool, that's its own category. How good the level is, like, yeah, Deco can kind of tie into that, because, like, for example, if Deco is obstructing the gameplay, that's another huge problem I have with Deco. Or today's Deco standard is that it obstructs gameplay, and that can be really, like, frustrating to deal with. And I haven't really played any levels that have obstructive Deco, and, like, most of the time those levels are very click pattern based and learny. So like, honestly, you barely need to look at the screen for those levels, so it's not too big of a deal. But still, like, I'm not excusing it. It's still really frustrating to deal with. Yeah, like, verification, that's just, like, a really important step in creating a level, because, you know, back in the day, when Trust, quote-unquote, nerfed Yamagarasu, he was, like, actually being really revolutionary as a verifier. Like, no one really back then had the guts to make their levels balanced well, you know? The Trust was like, hey, Michigan's too hard, I'm gonna make it balanced. And I've heard that Michigan is still too hard, but still, like, you know, it's very logical to balance your levels. Like, I really don't get how we've just, like, in the past few years, like, gotten into real verifications. And, like, you know, verifications aren't just supposed to be for nothing. They're there for a reason. Like, even some creators who are very capable of verifying their own levels, they still give it to a verifier so they can get the perfect balancing. And that, I get that's what playtesters are for, but still, like, verification is one final step. Yeah, like, playtesters also, like, playtesting is a very important step. Like, if you don't have playtesters, pretty much, if your level is, like, medium demon or above, well, maybe not medium demon, but, like, hard demon or insane demon, at the most, is, like, the earliest you should be getting playtesters. And, like, even just, like, DMing your friend, just saying, hey, can you, like, play this layout real quick? Like, it's just so easy to just say, hey, this wave, for example, is too big of a choke point, or this ship part is really open considering where it is in the level, and it could be buffed a bit to create, like, a more even experience. And, like, you know, I'm not saying that people need to make their levels easier to make them more fun. I think that Asphera is the best level ever created in the game, and that's, like, top 40 or top 50 at the moment right now. And also, Kyuki is one of my all-time favorite extremes. I absolutely love it. It's so good. Like, and that level is bordering on humanly impossible, you know? So you do not by any means need to make your levels easy to make them fun. But, like, just, you know, balancing out, like, Blade of Justice, for example, I'll go back to that. If the whole entire level was the difficulty of the hardest part, which I don't really know what the hardest part is, there's a bunch of parts that could be that. Let's just say the wave at 12. Like, if that was the difficulty of the whole level, first of all, it would be, like, maybe even harder than Ethereal Artifice, I don't know. Second of all, like, it would actually, I feel like I would have really enjoyed it. I probably wouldn't have gone for it because it would be really hard, but it was already, like, a few spots higher on my list than I expected it to be. It's just, like, really interesting and disappointing how some levels could be really good, but they're just kind of ruined by balancing. And even X Adventure, I'd say, like, I really like X Adventure past 41. But, you know, it ended up being my second least favorite level I had beaten completely because of the first 41. I guess that was back in the time when people literally just did not play test and just, you know, suffered through pain. For example, like Acropolis. Zobor said he verified that he spent like 7 hours straight verifying it. Like, I do not realize how, or I can't comprehend how you don't pick up on any flaws when you're doing that, you know? I'm really glad that verification has taken a turn as to where it is now. But, you know, creators still need to be able to pick up on their own gameplay issues and, like, you know, some stuff like playtesters, verifiers. There's, like, for example, a verifier, like, let's just say Victor, he had just beaten Firework and then he verified Echo, I don't know. You know, he had just beaten Firework, so Echo seemed pretty easy to him. So he didn't really pick up on, like, the small choke points because he would just pass them every time. And then I watched a bit of the streams that seemed like he would get far quite a lot, but then just die at the end of nerves. Like, literally, when you're at that skill level and you're verifying, you know, a level that's easy for that skill level, literally just nerves is the only thing that's stopping you from verifying it in, like, an hour at the most. Verification and playtesting are not the only, like, that's not going to be your saving grace, you know? Like, you obviously need to play your own level. And I get that some people, like, claim, oh, but my hardest is only, like, club step, and I'm making a list demon layout. If your hardest is club step, do you really expect yourself to be able to make gameplay that hard that's good? Like, you know, if you're a creator and, like, you have a certain skill level, you obviously need to, like, judge that, you know? I mean, hardest does not mean everything. If you've played, like, I don't know, some guy tried Story Mountain Star Visual Ascent, but still, like, your skill level is something that you can judge. And if you feel like you can't even play your own layout, like, at all, then it's just not worth making a level of that difficulty because it's just not going to come out good. Like, I try to make what I think now it would still be, like, top 3, probably, or top 5. I thought it was between Yada and Calculator Core difficulty. No, that's all I'm gonna say. It was, I played it like a while ago for a video. I think it was like the old Extremes video. It was called Eyes, I think. It was just unplayable. Like, every click was just made to be the hardest thing possible. And, like, my hardest back then, I think, was Sedulous, just because of the fact that I was completely incapable of playing that. Like, I would freak out when I passed one click in the level, okay? One click. I spent, like, 2 minutes trying to pass this one jump that I'm pretty sure is a frame perfect on, like, probably a frame perfect on 60. If not higher. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can do it kind of easily now, but, you know, like, I don't know, the level's very bad. Yeah, just make levels that are playable, you know? Like, even back then, I was just like, okay, this doesn't seem the best, but it's just hard, and that's the point. When it has, like, freaking Abyss of Darkness gaps, like, for every single click, if not harder. I don't really know. This video is just kind of a mess because I did not write a script. I don't even have, like, bullet points or anything. I've done that a few times now for videos. Just going off of nothing but my brain, whatever the hell's in there. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm going to end it off here. I've been talking for a bit. If you guys liked the video, then like and subscribe if you want more discussion videos. Since I am going to be going for a new hardest soon, I'm not exactly ahead on content right now. So I might have to whip together a few random ass discussion videos for free content. I don't know. Maybe it's like revisiting stuff. I have no idea, but I don't know. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.